All right, hey everybody, my name is Paul Ruvalo. I'm a professor of computer science at Olin College of Engineering. I'm going to tell you today about the Clew App, and the Clew App was developed by my group, consisting of Olin students, students from other colleges, but also many people who are blind and visually impaired from the community who help with both implementing and also designing and giving feedback on the app. All right, so here I am. I'm going to be showing two videos in this, sort of side by side. One is the view from an external camera that I'm holding pointing at my phone because I want to be able for you all to see how I'm moving my phone in relation to my body. And I'm also showing a recording of the phone's interface itself. For any of you who are blind or visually impaired, I will also be describing what I'm doing as we go through. So don't fear. Hopefully all the same information will be accessible non-visually. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and open the Clew app. Okay, and here I'm at the main screen. There's three buttons on here. The save route, which is the one that was first announced.
Record a single use route. Button.
Record a single use route and save routes list. So these highlight the major functions in Clew. So the two big ones are going to be save route and single use route. So single use route is when you record a route but you don't save it. So it's not available for you to use later on, as the name implies. In single-use route, the use case is, suppose you were led somewhere by a sighted guide, you might want to record the route while you're being led by the sighted guide and then navigate back at a later point in time, perhaps independently. And for that return journey, the app will give you automatic guidance. So I'll show you an example of how that works. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start recording a single-use route.
Single-use route. Option. Stop recording. Button. Okay. Recording a single-use route. Hold vertically with the rear camera facing forward.
All right, so there's a few announcements here. One that I wanted to point out is that hold your camera vertically with the rear camera facing forward. So that's an important thing to emphasize about Clew, is that it relies on the camera and tracking information in the world around it in order to accurately sort of position you in your environment. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start navigating through the environment. So I'm currently highlighting the stop record button. I'll press that when I'm done with my recording. There's also a voice notes button, which I'll discuss a little bit later. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move through the environment. I try to keep the phone generally vertical and pointing straight ahead. Okay, so I'm navigating through my basement, avoiding some messy toys on the ground for my kids, and I'm walking up a staircase. All right, so I'm at the top of my basement here. So I'm doing this all in my basement because of COVID. It's hard to, be on site at work. And also my cats are roaming around upstairs and I want them to attack me. All right, so I'm going to hit stop.
Start navigation button.
And now I have two options. One side, I could pause the route, which would let me put my phone away and then do whatever I want and then go back at a later point in time. Alternatively, I could hit the navigate button and go immediately back. So just to show how the navigation part of the app works, I'm going to go ahead and do that.
Stop navigation. Turn around and proceed downstairs. Starting navigation.
So the app said turn around, proceed downstairs. So stairs are detected as part of the app, used based on how the sort of phone moves vertically. So if you move up in sort of the appropriate angle, that's determined to be stairs. It's important to remember that this app is only to be used with conventional O&M practices like using a cane or a dog. And so it's not to be relied on to detect things like stairs for safety purposes. Okay, so what we're seeing here, for those who aren't able to see it, is a spinning sort of red indicator of the path that we're supposed to be traveling. And I'm moving my hand back and forth. And when the device is pointing towards the key point that we're supposed to be going to, we get a indicator from the phone, which is a little like tapping sound that you're hearing. What you can't experience through the video is that I'm also getting a haptic feedback cue as well. So that's vibrating slightly every time I'm pointing in the right direction. When you're off course, it just doesn't say anything, but there is a get directions button.
Get directions button. Get directions. Slide right and proceed downstairs.
Okay, so that's telling me again that I need to do a slight right and proceed downstairs to be facing
Stop navigation
the correct direction. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start walking.
Slide right.
Okay, so slight right.
Continue straight. Slide right.
Okay, so now I'm back down the staircase and now I'm in my basement.
Continue straight.
One thing I wanted to point out here is that I'm currently facing the correct direction, but remember the phone's feedback is with respect to its orientation, not my own orientation. So it's important to know that that is where the feedback is coming from, not necessarily how your body's pointing. And I'll talk about that difficulty a little bit later. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move along the route. The little tweeting noises when I get to one of the intermediate key points. And now I've arrived back at the starting location.
Navigation, you're right.
And there's a button that allows you to rate your experience. That gives us valuable feedback to the design team. Okay, so that's the basic use of single-use route. Next, I want to show the pause feature. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do another single-use route.
Record a single-use route. Single-use route.
In this case, I'm going to navigate through my basement. So here I am walking along the route. I'm moving through my basement, but now I'm going to make a left and go into a bathroom here. So I made a left and then a right, and now you might be able to hear the difference in sound. I'm now in a bathroom. Okay, so here I'm going to stop.
Start navigation button. Pause session.
If I want to be able to put the phone away, I need to hit the pause button first. Okay, so if you just put the phone away without doing pause, the tracking will not function properly and you won't be able to resume the route. So it hits
enter text to help you remember this anchor point.
And this is one of the most important parts of the app. So this is the procedure that we use to pause the route, but also to save routes, which we'll see later. And what it does is it relies on you to be able to physically position your phone with respect to some landmark in the environment. So just as conventional orientation and mobility practice relies on detecting, using walls to sort of square up against or orient against, we use the same idea in Clew. And so the technique that's described in this long text that's on the screen, which I won't read to you right now, involves figuring out a place you can put your phone where you'll be able to press the top short edge against the wall and wait for a countdown to go. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Of course, you need to be able to remember where you do this. So there's also an option to record a voice note and also have some text that would be presented to you when you need to realign.
4.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and press it against
2.
the wall.
1. Resume button. Anchor point saved.
So
you may now close the app and return later to return navigation.
I've gone ahead and paused it, so now I can lock my phone. All right. Okay, and I'm going to unlock it.
Button. Clew home screen. Button. Your route tracking is now paused. When you would like to navigate back, return to the location of your last anchor point and press the resume button.
So I could have done whatever I wanted to do. I guess I'm in a bathroom. It's probably be going to the bathroom, I guess. I'm going to hit play. Okay, and now I have to realign my device with where I put it when I initially saved it. All right, so I'm going to put it in that location, wait for the countdown.
2. 1. Stop navigation. Turn around. Slide left. Align to anchor point. Starting navigation.
Okay. All right, so now I can go ahead and navigate
Slide
back
left.
just as I did before.
Continue straight. Slide right.
Okay, so I'm walking back through my basement, all the way back to the starting position.
Good. Button. Good.
Thumbs up.
Save route. Button. Save route.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so that's how the saving route, the single-use route with a pause works. The save route feature is very similar. So let me show that. So now I'm going to go to the top of the stairs in my basement. All right, and imagine I wanted to record a route from the top of this stairs down to another part of my basement that has some workout equipment in it. I'm going to hit save route, and now what we're seeing here is that the same screen that came up when I paused the route is now coming up again. This is because in order to save a route, we need to record a physical anchor location that we can then return to later when we need to resume the route. So if you were going through a door, a reasonable thing to do would be to use a surface that's right inside the door, or maybe even on the door itself. So here I'm going to use something right next to the door handle. 3, 2, 1, 0. Stop recording button. Okay. Anchor point so once I create that anchor point, I can go ahead and walk my route. All right, so I'm going to go down here. Okay, here's this some workout equipment, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit stop. And then as long as I want to navigate the route in both the forward and the backward direction, I need to record an anchor point at the end as well. So this will allow me to navigate either from the beginning to the end or the end to the beginning. Okay, so I'm going to do the same process. I'm going to make an anchor point. 2, 1. Okay, and that's all you need to do to save a route. Anchor point saved. Text field is editing. Enter route name here. Insertion point at start. Use the rotor to access. Insertion point at end. Cap W. Cap W. O. Oscar. O. R. Roman R. K. K.
O. U. 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 T. T. Return. Return. Save route. Button. Save route. Start navigation. Button.
Okay, great.
Route save.
And
Clew home screen.
I can either navigate it again or just go back to
Save
the home
route.
screen.
Button. Save route.
Okay, and then to realign to the route, I'm going to show that process. So now I'm walking back to the beginning of the route. And now I can open the saved routes list. Now the route that I recorded is listed here.
03/18/2021, 14 hours, 4 minutes, and 3 seconds. Actions available.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pick that.
Route
I'm going to select route direction start to end since I'm going from the beginning to the end.
03/8 options button. Start alignment countdown button.
And I'm going to do my alignment.
4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Stop navigation. Turn around. Align to anchor point. Starting navigation. Successfully match current environment to save route. Slide right and proceed downstairs.
Okay, it said successfully matched route, visually matched save route. That's an indicator that not only did the physical match succeed, but there's also an additional match that gives even better localization. Okay, so I was able to successfully go down the stairs and reach the place where I ended the other route. Okay. All right, so that is the basic functionality of Clew. I'll show a couple other things real quick.
Options.
So the first thing I wanted to show is this sort of burger menu, what they call it, this sort of menu at the top. There's 3 different things you can do here. There's a settings menu that allows you to adjust various things about the app. There's also a help screen. Okay, so the help screen has some information similar to what I'm telling you right now. And there's a give feedback button. So the give feedback allows you to either type into a form or attach voice feedback that will go to the development team.
Phone number, country, name.
And that's
Please
really
give us your
helpful to
cancel
us.
button. Select it.
Okay, one setting in the settings, things like distance units. So in the US we use feet, but that's a very specific case. So you can pick whatever units you want, imperial or metric. If you're low vision, you can adjust the crumb color.
Alignment timer land. 5 seconds.
Like what type of feedback you get. Do you get sound feedback, voice, haptic, all those types of things.
Voice.
One thing I wanted to mention here is this idea of correcting offset of phone and body. This is an important feature that is that you can use. So if I go ahead and turn this on,
done button.
I'm going to go back to the main screen here.
Options.
So one thing that we found in our analysis of the data from Clew is that if folks have a hard time sort of understanding the position of the phone with relation to their body, it can be difficult to interpret the navigational guidance from the app. All right, so there's sort of 2 approaches to that. One thing you could do is just sort of take the phone, and it's hard to show, but kind of press it against your body. Let's see, I can show it right here. So press it against your body so it always stays flush with your body, in which case it won't be misaligned with the direction that you're facing. Alternatively, we've designed a system that tries to automatically determine
record a single use route
where you're moving versus where the phone is pointing. So it helps to adjust for any offset that might occur. So I just turned that feature on. So I'm going to go ahead and do another single use route. This one's going to be a very short one. I'm going to go from this workout area
hold vertically with the rear camera facing forward
all across my basement and try to show this one off. Okay, so I got to the other end and hit pause.
Start navigation button.
Okay, and I'm going to start navigation.
Stop navigation. Turn around. Correction for phone / body offset will be updated as you start walking.
I'm going to actually
starting navigation.
Turn my phone at a 45-degree angle to the route. And so right now I'm not getting any feedback because my phone is not facing in the correct direction. But as I start to walk, the device will sense that it's misaligned. The orientation of the device is misaligned with the direction that the person is moving and correct for that offset. Okay? Okay, so now I'm getting the haptic cues and the visual cues.
Continue straight.
Okay.
Good. Good. Button. You've arrived.
All right. So I think a key thing to keep in mind when training people to use this app or using it yourself is that the device is always giving feedback relative to the direction it's pointing, not the direction that your body's pointing. That can be really useful. It lets you probe the environment by moving the phone around rather than your body. But if you have a difficult time mapping between those 2 directions, there is support within the app through that option, or there are low-tech ways to do it by just sort of bracing the phone and holding it against your body. All right, that's pretty much it for the main functions of Clew. I'm always available to answer questions. You can reach me at clewapp@gmail.com. Love to set up a time to chat more about the app and answer any additional questions you have. Thank you very much, and look forward to hearing from some of you.
Voiceover off.